Thank you so much, and good morning from Niagara, and welcome. I'm Vince Bork, and I'm professor and coordinator of the Hospitality and Tourism Management Program. And our program is really, I guess, designed for those students that want to work with people, right? We work in what I call a very sexy industry, right? We get to work in these palatial resorts. We get to travel the world. We work in exquisite restaurants, right? It's really a phenomenal industry. And if you like to work with people and you want to make people feel special, right? Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to prepare you for a managerial or a leadership role in this awesome industry. Right. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity in the hospitality and tourism industry. We're starting to see the tail end of this horrible pandemic. Right. And what does that mean? That means that borders are opening and we're able to travel. Right. So that means a lot of opportunity for you. Right. According to Tourism HR, there could be as many as 2.29 million jobs across the country by 2035. That's awesome for you guys, right? That means there's jobs, there's opportunity, there's careers for you guys, right? And the reality is that many projections show that many of those jobs will be left unfilled, right? Now that does sound horrible, but that's good news for you. Why? Opportunity, right? Opportunity for you to grow and develop within the hospitality and tourism industry. And obviously, studying at Niagara College, we're in the epicenter of the hospitality industry, right? Niagara Falls is synonymous with hospitality and tourism. And not only do we have the falls, but here in this area, the Niagara region, we have wineries, we have the best restaurants in the country, we have resorts, we have attractions, we have all these great things right here in our back door. So our program really does focus on being able to manage, communicate, and lead our people in the industry, right, in our business. And those three key things are crucial to your success, right? And as I mentioned earlier, our campus is located in the heart of the hospitality and tourism industry here in Canada, right? We also have a great campus. We have all these great things. We have a spa here on campus, a teaching spa. We have a restaurant, a fine dining restaurant here on campus. We have a brewery. We have a winery. We have a vineyard. We have all these great things right here on our own campus. So that provides a lot of opportunity for you as a student, right? And, obviously through the pandemic, everybody's been really focusing on technology, but we really do pride ourselves on focusing on the technology and the teamwork that it takes to be successful in the industry, right? We're seeing technology really grow and develop in all industries, especially in the hospitality and tourism industry, and we embrace that, okay, in our program and provide you with the skills that you need in order to grow and develop and be the leader of the pack, right? And we also really do focus here at Niagara College. Our motto is applied dreams, right? Applied, gaining hands-on learning experience. And in a couple of slides here, I'll actually talk about some of our experiential learning courses that we offer here in our program, okay? So I talked about one of our mottos at the college being applied dreams. Well, our mantra, our motto within the hospitality, tourism, and sport division is that we are preparing you to be Monday morning ready. What does that mean? That means that all the skills that we're providing you will prepare you to start a job on Monday, to hit the ground running and be successful within your career or that particular job. Right. I've already kind of talked about the innovative program delivery, right? We really focus on the technology. I'll show you guys in a couple of slides what we're doing, some of what technologies we're using in our classroom, right? And the other thing is it's just the right size, right? You're not going to be in a university lecture hall with 500 students, right? Our classes are typically under 36 students in our program, right? So you're in a class with 36 students. So what does that mean for you? Well, the professor gets to know who you are. Okay. Now that of course can be bad or good. because the good students, we know why the good students are good, they participate. But then if you're one of the bad students, we know that you're not doing your work either. Right. So take that for what you will. Embrace diversity. Holy jumping. This program is all about international. Our program is literally 99% international. We do have a handful of domestic students, but we also have students from India, China, Ukraine, Russia, South America, different countries in Europe. I'm trying to think, Germany, Turkey, all these wonderful places all over the world, which is really, really cool, right? And then we also offer pathways to further your study. Right. So there's a lot of other postgrad programs here at the college that will help complement your certificate in the hospitality and tourism graduate program. And I think I'm actually going to pass this slide off to Jennifer Hall.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Hall. I'm a professor with Vince Bork and with Agnes in the hospitality and tourism postgrad program. And I am here to mention to you some of the opportunities you may find when you graduate from the program. We are very lucky that a lot of our graduates keep in contact and tell us about what they're up to when they graduate. And we have students who have stayed in the Niagara region, working locally, as well as many different places across Canada and abroad, which is pretty fantastic. We're seeing people in a variety of roles in the food and beverage industry. And as Vince mentioned, there's a lot of opportunities in wineries as well. So we've seen a lot of people specifically working in the beverage industry. A lot of students are very interested in marketing or getting involved with destination marketing. Even I believe we've had a few students get involved with destination marketing organizations locally or abroad. We have a lot of students who work in the hotel industry when they graduate. A lot of students who are specifically interested in tourism, so working at some of our local attractions. And really, I think the opportunities are endless because, as Vince has already mentioned, this is really a field for helping people to have a great experience and helping people to feel special in the experience that they sign up for. So you will have those opportunities when you graduate from the program as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Professor Hall. All right. So as I've been talking about, I want to kind of identify some of the courses that we have here at the program that really kind of focus on that experiential learning experience. Right, so the first one I want to talk about is entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship course, right? And this is a really cool course. What we do is we're actually building a business plan, and we use the lean canvas format. And what you're doing is you're actually working on an industry project. We partner up with one of our industry partners, right, on something that they're trying to develop or trying to grow. And what we do is we break our students into groups, and they actually work with that partner to develop some sort of business plan for their endeavor, right? So students are working on this. They go visit the property or visit the location, do all these great things. And now that the pandemic, we're going back on campus next semester and the pandemic is winding down, hopefully, we're actually going to be able to do a lot of these things again, right? So, and then it's kind of a competition, if you will, because the best project actually gets presented to the industry partner. So what does that mean for you? Well, if your project is being presented to the partner, that means you're getting to network, you're getting to meet new people, right? And maybe that person will hire you to take on a part of that project, right? So a lot of great opportunities there. The other course I want to kind of talk about here. Oh, we went. Okay, one of the other course I want to talk about is the food and beverage service management course. This is a really cool course, right? We actually have a restaurant simulation where you're going to actually run a restaurant. Right? There's two case scenarios where we actually take over a restaurant, where you take over a restaurant that's not successful, right? You take it over and you got to turn it around and make it successful, which is really cool. And then there's another scenario where you're going to run a restaurant where you're going to build it from the ground up, right? So this is really cool because this is a capstone course, right? And basically what it's doing is it's kind of taking from all the courses you've taken in the first semester and the beginning of the second semester, and you're applying those principles to this actual simulation. The other one is accommodations management, right? It's a hotel course. We actually have the license to use the Opera PMS. So you're going to do the same Opera training that you would as a new hire at a hotel that's using the Opera property management system, which is really cool. And then in our technology applications and social and marketing course, you're actually using doing the Hootsuite training for the Hootsuite platform and social marketing certification, right? Which is really cool. And of course, that's free to you, right? And you have that same certification. You can attach it to your LinkedIn. And it's something you can put on your resume, right? And Hootsuite is basically a one-stop shop to manage social media, right? So instead of having to manage your Instagram account, your Facebook account, your TikTok account, your Snapchat account, right? It's all managed in one place, which is really cool. Okay, next slide. Oh, actually, and I will pass this over because there's actually something at the bottom I couldn't see. And I will pass it over to Professor Novacek, who will talk about our Costa Rica field trip.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Agnes Novacek, and my particular background is actually in ecotourism and sustainable tourism. And that one little thing that you haven't seen at the bottom of that previous slide was international field study to Costa Rica. That is part of our Niagara College Be Word Ready, which you see the flag on the blue right there on one of those pictures. And this is actually, those pictures come from our last field study, which was in 2020. The person you see on top right in the white, that's actually one of our star students from this very graduate certificate program. She was an exchange student from Germany. And as it happens, as Vince mentioned, because our classes are so small, we're able to get to know our students and to assist them. Next slide, please. So this student in particular, Caroline Seyfirth, she came up to me during one of my sustainable tourism classes and she identified what she was really interested in. You can see there is an article about her. As I mentioned, we have many different star students that come our way and we love to brag about them. So that's a good example there. But she's actually currently doing her master's in Sweden in sustainable tourism, and her pathway kind of unfolded as part of the Niagara College community. And so coming up to me, she identified her love and passion for sustainable tourism, which we shared. And so through my professional network, she worked on developing a relationship with Cayuga Collection in Costa Rica. She ended up doing her internship with Senda Monteverde, which was an eco lodge there. And she was focusing on visitor experience. She was working at the same time on her research as part of her bachelor's studies. Because she was already there in Costa Rica, it just happened that it aligned nicely with our international field study. So for the first time in the Be Word Ready history, she was actually able to be the second lead and assist me. And so what a great opportunity, both for her as our alumna, but also for the students who are participating in that field study to learn from one of their own. So that was another really exciting thing, but that pathway wasn't really finished at that point. Because of her experiences that she continued on, and of course she was one of those students who always said yes to everything, she was a guest speaker in my sustainable tourism class to talk about her internship and her work so far and her research. And all to say that even at this point, she's still visiting my classes. We still keep in touch. And we just finished our draft working together on co-authoring a book chapter on sustainable and accessible visitor experience. So again, just one of many examples how whether you're interested in more academic pathways or hands-on industry, we have a lot of different professors, individuals, practitioners who will assist you on your pathway. And there's nothing more that we love to do.
Thank you so much, Agnes. If I could just go back I apologize. I just want to talk about a few more opportunities here. I'll be very quick. There's some positions that I want to kind of highlight where our students end up after graduation. Now, most of these students that I've identified in these positions have graduated within 5 or 6 years, right? We have one of them, he's graduated probably 10 or 11 years now, but he actually came to the college after 5 or 6 years as an international student recruiter. And I think he takes care of all of Africa, I believe, and he travels all over and recruits international students for the college. We have another one who just graduated a few years ago, who is a store manager and responsible for hospitality and events at the Niagara College Winery. We have a couple other students who are general managers at hotels, one in London, one here in Niagara Falls. And the one you can't see here is there's another one there who is an operations manager for KFC and oversees a group of KFCs and Taco Bells in the area. So a lot of opportunity. We're seeing our students being successful after graduation. And I think that is key for our students. So that wraps up things for me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vince and team, Agnes and Jennifer. I'm Christine Clark, and I coordinate the Human Resource Management Program and the Human Resources degree program right now. Students that typically enroll to take the Human Resource Management grad program have undergraduate degrees and diplomas in a variety of disciplines, though they often share a common interest. And similar to what Vince was saying about the great things in hospitality, our graduates typically and our applicants typically have a common interest to really help organizations manage their people. So, and I'll go to the next slide if you wouldn't mind. We're going to talk a little bit. I want to share with you a little bit about the program highlights. But this program, the Human Resource Management Grad Certificate Program, is designed to complement your prior undergraduate experiences. And just to give you another example, we've recently entered into a partnership with Brock, whereby students, even in the Brock's Labor Studies program, can apply to take the Human Resource Management as part of their 3rd or 4th year and actually graduate from Brock with 2 certificates, their Labor Studies degree and their grad certificate in Human Resource Management. So we're really we partner with other universities and colleges as well, just to provide some of those pathways. So it's a great complement to your existing undergraduate program. And at Niagara, when you join this program, you'll have an amazing opportunity to meet faculty who have a combination of not only academic credentials and experiences in their fields, but also industry experience. So even, I can share a personal example. I actually joined the college full-time just about 5 years ago, but I had over 25 years experience in HR in the public sector industry. So many of our faculty are similar, where they have a combination of not only academic qualifications, but they've also worked in HR in both public, private, and not-for-profit industries, which really enriches our students' experience in the classroom. The curriculum here within the Human Resource Management program also prepares our students for the Certified Human Resource Professional designation. And the Certified Human Resource Leader designation. So, and Kevin's going to allude to a little bit his experiences taking those, but the program itself offers the mandatory coursework that is a requirement for you in preparing to write your designation examinations. So we really focus on making sure that curriculum is in line with the Human Resource Professional Association and the required designations. And also we reach out to our program advisory committee at minimum twice a year, which is represented by industry, HR professionals who really care about the students and preparing them for the world of work. So we meet with them a couple times a year, actually get their feedback on what's going on in industry, share any curriculum changes with them, and really with the desire to ensure that our curriculum is meeting the industry needs. So, and even as recently as 2016, we even adjusted our curriculum somewhat to introduce things around technology. So Human Resource Information Systems course, a new organizational design course were added to the program based on the industry's needs. That these are new skill competencies required of HR practitioners and professionals. Industry partners really as well, and you heard my colleagues talk about the speakers that come into their classrooms, and very similar in the HR program, where our partners in industry play an integral role in the curriculum. Many are guest speakers in our courses. Many of them conduct seminars at HR&C events, which I'll share with you. And oftentimes we take some of their needs in industry and integrate them into a course-based project, which allows you to really take the theory that you're learning and practice it and apply it to an industry need that's out there. So those are some highlights just to give you an experience. And again, this This slide kind of reiterates some things that my colleagues have shared about the unique experiences of at Niagara. But between your internship experience that is part of this curriculum and industry projects that we weave into the curriculum, the program, the Human Resource Management program, really helps you prepare for possible careers in HR. As I mentioned, we partner regularly with industry employers to kind of incorporate experiential learning activities as part of the curriculum. So for example, we developed in the training and development course, we partnered with Chase Ramsden to develop a train the trainer modules. We've partnered with 48 North and Niagara Cannabis Institute. We've developed HR plans for a brewery in Bhutan. And a lot of equity and diversity initiatives as well that are required by our industry partners. Even of late last year, we partnered with Bosch Rexroth out of Welland and developed interview process techniques and an onboarding strategy. So really trying to incorporate those industry needs into our projects so students can apply the learning to a practical experience. Even in terms of, Vince made mention of simulations, we do a labor relations simulation in your industrial relations class, giving you that opportunity to sit on management or union and negotiate a contract. So integrating simulations as well to try to provide a practical opportunity. And similar, there's opportunities for students to develop intercultural competencies. In 2017, again, prior to the pandemic, we had a number of our human resource management students through the Be World Ready program travel to Florida to participate in Disney's leadership development program and learn more about what goes into their curriculum and their culture around enhancing their leadership at Disney. So it was really an interesting experience. There's also, and I'll share with you a little bit, we have a student-led association called HRNC, which our guest Kevin was even part of. And human resource management students are involved in a lot of extracurricular activities through this student-led association. So we have guest speakers, a speaker series, and prior to the pandemic, it was face-to-face, and we had alumni events. And even during the pandemic, and I'll share some examples with you, we've been able to pivot and offer that speaker series virtually so that we can still engage with industry, have speakers in virtually. And also a number of through the HRNC event, club, student association, we also engage in some fundraising community events like helping out with community cares around Christmas in Jillian's Place. And similar to what my colleagues mentioned about class side, the classes within this human resource management program at the Niagara on the Lake campus as well is typically under 36, 37 students, which really allows the benefit of getting to interact with your classmates as well as your faculty. So some real perks there in terms of smaller class sizes. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry. Next slide, please. And the next one. Sorry, I was a little bit delayed there. This is an example of some of the industry connections that we have with the Human Resource Professional Association. So 2 times a year, we have a visit from our student human resource professional liaison from Niagara, Charlotte Bucko, who is actually an alum of the program as well. And she comes in to talk about memberships and what the services offer, an explanation of what it takes to be designated as a certified human resource professional. And later, many of our students go on to pursue the certified human resource leader designation after being in the workforce for a few years. So she visits us twice a year. She's one of our industry speakers that comes in to speak to students about the designation process. Next slide, please. Some of these, as I mentioned, the Human Resource HR at NC Student Association, we conduct a number of speaker series, and this is just a few of the examples of speaker series that we've offered. We have a professional panel that's typically part of our annual speaker series. We had lessons in leadership last fall with the directors of human resources at Niagara Health Systems, at Brock University and Niagara College, talked to us about the trends in industry, their growth as HR practitioners and leaders in HR, and what they're seeing as the needs in terms of human resource graduates and the needs in the field in general. We've had Indeed come in regularly every year to talk about the use of the platform around Indeed and how as students and job seekers, as well as HR managers, can use these tools to try to capitalize on the resources that are out there. We also have a lawyer that comes in regularly, Mike Bonomi, who talks about trends in employment law. And last year, we even had some former alum from Home Depot come in and speak about their HR experiences as a manager at Home Depot and some of the trends around COVID and the impact of that. So this is just an example of some of the speaker series that we have, and we typically have face-to-face, but have transitioned them to online even in the last couple of years. So it really is a wonderful opportunity to engage with the industry. And it's our amazing alumni that also come back to provide and volunteer their time to talk about their experiences working. The health and safety panel, for example, is a good example of some of the former grads and industry partners that come to us to talk about their health and safety experiences. And during COVID was even more interesting to hear about some of the challenges and best practices that they're incorporating and what it's like to be a practitioner in that field of HR. Next slide, please. And finally, these are just some examples. I mean, our graduate employment rates for the program are very high. We keep in touch with a lot of our graduates as they come back and our guest speakers, as you're going to hear from one of them today. The internship really and the course-based projects helps you prepare for many of these careers. A number of our students are involved in talent acquisition as HR generalists, benefits coordinators. So just a sample of some of the careers that a number of our students have strived to achieve. And we're going to hear from, and next slide, please. I'm going to hand it over to a graduate of the program, Kevin, who's can tell you a little bit about his experiences in the program and where it's taken him in his current role. So I really want to thank Kevin for taking the time here.
Hi, thanks for having me. I think I still look the same as that picture was taken 2 years ago, but that's great. Yeah, Christine, you pretty much nailed everything. I was gonna maybe repeat a couple of them, but just want to kind of say that I took general business and I had some prior experience in accounting, and I really just wanted to work with people. And when I applied to the program, wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. There's many different areas of HR, and fortunately, you do learn all the areas. And like me, you might not know what you want to do until you get into the program. And then, you know, the program really allows you to maybe say, I want to specialize in labor relations, or I want to be a recruiter. For me, I'm a human resources manager, so I'm a generalist now, and I was able to take, you know, all of the foundational concepts that we learned about in the program, including projects, simulations, and kind of I use them all in my day-to-day tasks, and it's really benefited me. But I would say you do get what you put in, and the faculty is very supportive. They're there for you, and you know, they couldn't be better. I was lucky to have an internship with Niagara College, working on a training and development research project with Christine, actually, and it definitely allowed me to apply what I learned in the classroom in the real world. So one of the huge benefits is being able to have an internship or and work in the real world as you're going to school. So that's definitely one thing that is huge in the program. HR at NC, definitely a great opportunity to network with the industry, industry speakers and your classmates. it's just, it's invaluable. It's so invaluable, and just the time and effort that you put into that, and where it could lead you in the future. So yeah, I can't say enough good things, but yeah, Christine, anything else maybe I missed?
Oh, and thank you for sharing that. Yes, Kevin worked on a train the trainer program for us in emotional intelligence. Is the interdisciplinary project with Welland Campus, and we actually presented some of the research findings just recently at 2 presentations. One was an international conference, and one was Spotlight on Teaching. So Kevin's great work in that project really helped to foster some research that we were doing in emotional intelligence. So yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But I know some of my classmates had internship opportunities elsewhere. Just some examples through the region of Niagara. Algoma was one, a shipping company. Post Foods was one, Great Wolf Lodge. So there's kind of the tourism sector. Niagara College, of course. Those are just to name a few, but typically there's more than enough internships to go around. Some of them may be a bit more competitive than others, but it definitely is a great opportunity to get involved, get experience if you don't have any, and you just kind of go from there.
That's great. Yeah, thanks very much, Kevin. So it's very important, you hear from, student experiences as well in terms of what they've encountered, and, tips and tricks in terms of what to focus on. And yeah, so.
And Christine, they're going to be in class in person in January?
The plan is to be face-to-face for 2 hours of every class. Starting in January. So yeah, we're
awesome.
Looking forward to being back on campus. That's the plan. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Stefan, as well. So I will turn my microphone off if you want to advance the slides, and pass it over to my colleague.
Thanks a lot, Christine. I appreciate it. It's wonderful to hear all the positive things from Kevin about HR. It's really a spectacular program. I've heard a lot of really positive feedback from a number of students. And the reason why I hear a lot of positive feedback is because oftentimes students at Niagara tend to pair our post-grad programs together. The reason why is because international business can be paired effectively with pretty well human resources, supply chain management, and then also hotel and tourism, as well as a number of others. So really, it's a fantastic jump off point for students who are trying to either re-enter or try to further their education in the world of international business. We find that a lot of our students aren't necessarily international business specialists coming in. In fact, we have students who come with backgrounds in business, psychology, engineering, even a medical background. And we tend to train our students to become not just strong international business professionals, which seems like kind of a vague title, but essentially to become strong managers, good decision makers, individuals who understand how trade works and the process of moving goods across borders. And of course, one might ask, well, what can I do with a post-grad certificate in international business? Well, the reality is that many businesses are looking to expand to international markets in the first place. And so really, being an international business specialist means that you can, in effect, move into a company and help them to solve problems. And this is really what we want to teach our students, is how to solve problems. It's obviously just like the other two, it's a one-year grad certificate. And if you don't mind going to the next slide, that'd be great. Thanks. So why do you want to study international business? Well, let's imagine for a moment you've completed your degree or your diploma, and you want to enhance your opportunities to enter into the workforce, and specifically within business that works in international trade. The postgrad certificate provides a perfect jump off point for that. Now, you may wonder, what is it that we can do to help you? Well, first off, you are becoming a specialist in one specific area in international business. The second part is that we have, we're in terms of proximity, we're extremely close to the US border. And so when we started thinking about the value in that, well, we have more trade going on between Canada and the US than pretty much anywhere else in the world when it comes to two countries alone. Obviously, the US is Canada's largest trading partner. And so by taking part in the postgrad certificate at Niagara College, you are providing yourself an opportunity really to move into companies within the Niagara region or even in Toronto, where there's a requirement for importer or export experts. There's a lot of hands-on learning as well. So as an example, we teach students to use real-world tools when for decision making and for planning. So as an example, I teach a class called International Market Entry and Distribution. And in effect, we learn through the semester how to develop what's called a quantitative strategic planning matrix. And this tool that you can carry with you for the rest of your career that in effect helps managers determine the best strategy to enter into new markets. And through our program, you'll learn how many different strategies there might be. And sometimes because it is problem solving, there's a lot of problem solving involved. So you might end up finding yourself creating a new mode of importing, which is quite fascinating. Beyond that as well, we have an applied research project at the end of our course, at the end of our program. So in your second semester, you take part in what's called applied research in international trade management. And in effect, what you're doing is not only are you researching how to solve problems, but you're taking what you research and you're applying it to a real world problem. Much like Vince had stated for a capstone, it's similar to that, but slightly different in that there's maybe more emphasis on the research involved. So you're learning to collect data, and this data collection is extremely necessary when we're trying to understand how to enter into or maintain international markets. So this real world hands-on learning will enhance your opportunity to further your career. Beyond that as well, we also try to develop projects that not only pertain specifically to the courses that you're taking, but they can add value to your future portfolio. So things that you can keep in, say, your toolbox, for instance. If you get into consulting, for instance, you'll have a number of tools after leaving your international business management postgrad, and you'll be able to use that elsewhere. And so ultimately, what we find is that students, when they leave, they're prepared to enter into the workforce and not only do their job, but find ways to enhance and add value directly to the companies that they work for. Our faculty members have a very diverse set of skills and experiences. They come from all over the world. We have professors from India, Iran, Canada, just to name a few. And beyond that as well, our professors have worked and lived abroad, or at the very least, and many of them have lived in many different parts of the world, so they're able to bring that cultural perspective to the class. You as a student, a future prospective student for international trade management, you likely find that working with others and solving problems is important. And you find that directly in our program. In international trade management, you'll be working with, international business management, you'll be working with students from all over the world: India, Philippines, Nigeria, a number of different Latin American countries. Europe, we have students who have been from Spain, Germany, Ukraine, Russia. Then from Africa, we've had students from Nigeria, Ghana, I believe Botswana. So really, you have an opportunity to work directly with students from all over the world. So not only are you learning about these cultural differences, but you're taking part in projects, working directly with international teams. Some might say that the COVID pandemic has been problematic, and of course we can all feel it, but at the same time, there's been, let's say, a silver lining to this. And the silver lining is that students have been able to work in teams online with people across the globe. Now that means that people have gotten used to MS Teams and other forms of virtual workplaces. So it's quite strong. And so really, if we're to sum up the program itself, what we can say is that international business management, in effect, should not be looked at as in itself your secondary study for international business. Rather, it should be a complement to anything you've done in the past, whether that be business, psychology, engineering, a medical doctor, or anything in medicine for that matter. These are all complementary to that. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, and so what can we do with this after? Well, customs broker is a big one. Obviously, anytime we are looking, some might wonder what a customs broker does. In effect, this is an individual who is ensuring that a product is able to get over the border and into the host market and get through all the paperwork, we'll say. So get through all the red tape. Distribution logistics administrator, foreign trade consultant, or a specialist. We've had students who have worked, who have done work as somewhat of a specialist in a number of companies when they leave, and it's quite encouraging. International banker and international marketing and sales associate. And international marketing and sales associate, we do see students leaving and going directly into. So overall, the career opportunities are quite broad. Now, don't take these as the only career opportunities, but in terms of where you might go, these are a strong suggestion. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so we had a student and really quickly, I chose this program because I need one that would build on all of my past skills and experience. Niagara College is my first step to accomplish the Canadian dream. Now, it doesn't matter if you come from abroad or you're a Canadian or you are a domestic student. Okay, it doesn't matter where you're from. What you're doing is you're coming into an international business and you are the same as everybody else. We can see this in everything that we do. All of our teams, all of our projects, it's a completely mixed set of students. So it doesn't matter where you're from, you're gonna be working with individuals from a multitude of different places in the world. We don't just keep things in the classroom either. We tend to take part in what's called an international field study through Be World Ready. And Agnes mentioned that previously. Our Be World Ready students tend to go to Germany and the Netherlands, Amsterdam. We tend to take tours through Mercedes and the Mercedes factory. We try to understand how a number of different markets work, even just going into grocery stores and trying to understand the different types of products, even the same products we would find in our home market and how they differ. So these programs don't just keep us to one place. Ultimately, international business management provides us an opportunity to expand our horizon beyond just what we've learned in the past. And I really hope that going forward, it provides you the opportunity.
Okay, so I'm going to open it up to questions now. Like I said, we have a couple of questions. Let's start with the first one. So do we need to have work experience to apply to the graduate certificate in HR?
No. The requirement is only another undergraduate certificate. So whether some people have come in with a college diploma, the majority of participants have come in with a university degree, but you do not require prior HR experience. That's the whole purpose. You will learn much of that and through your internship and course-based projects. So you don't require to have the experience prior to.
Okay, thank you. And are the programs in this school, are they competitive?
Are we talking all graduate certificate programs?
Yes.
I would say so. I think we do a program review and we have great graduation rates. So I can speak for the Human Resource Management grad program. It is recognized by the designation. It's competitive. People are getting work and are getting certified in their designation. So I would say so, but I'll hand that off to my other colleagues as well.
I'm not sure what's meant by competitive, like competitive to get into or competitive
I think that's what, so you know how there's some programs that are listed as competitive and some of them are non-competitive? I think the
Okay.
question was, is it a competitive program to get into? A lot
Okay,
of applicants.
well,
are
right
that.
now, from my understanding, because we have this influx of applications due to finally going back on campus, I believe we're on a wait list for the hospitality and tourism program, but I think that wait list is quickly dwindling down, right? They're trying to sort through the recruiting process and such, from my understanding. But you know, the good thing about our program is that we have a January start, a May start, as well as a September start. So we have 3 different cohorts in a year, which is helpful for those people that are interested in our program.
Great,
So I
thank you.
could add a note about our program as well in terms of competitive in a different category. What Christine was briefly mentioning is that our students, I see that those students, as was the example of Carolyn Seyfarth, who want to pursue higher academic levels, masters and whatnot, they tend to be very successful, as well as those who are more of that hands-on practitioner type of who want to go into the industry. And we're still in touch with many of them who are very successful in the industry. So
Very good.
Great, thank
Yeah,
you.
and just to add, if you don't mind, we have a large number of students in international business management who tend to remain competitive within the program, and then also, as Agnes mentioned, move on to achieve their master's level studies after. So oftentimes we do find high achieving students, but of course every student has their own goals when they come into the program. So keep that in mind when you're applying. What do you want out of it? And as much as you want out of it, you will effectively get out of it.
Mhm.
Cool.
We also have two starts: September, where there's typically 2 sections, and January, where there's 1 section of students. So we have 2 times a year there's an intake, and usually they're pretty full classes.
So we have I guess this would be like an admissions related question, if anyone can answer that. So is the graduate certificate program strictly 100% only available to students that have completed an undergrad or diploma? And are there considerations for individuals who have been in the workforce? So someone who's been working in business management, for example, getting into the HR management grad certificate?
I think that would be a question more for admissions. I would refer someone to an academic advisor for some of those specific questions, but typically the undergrad completion is a requirement of our programs. There are certain courses you may be able to pull based on experience and qualifications, but essentially to get in, there's typically completion of another undergraduate program.
Yeah, if I can piggyback on that, just Christine's absolutely correct. You know, if you're going to apply and you want direct admission, you know, we definitely require some sort of diploma or degree to get into our postgrad program. However, there has been times when people that you know, have 10 years work experience in the industry, you know, maybe they started at Brock, they did a year at Brock or a year at Niagara College, and they have something. And then what we do is we've interviewed them to see if they have the aptitude, if you will, to embark on a postgraduate journey. And we've accepted some of those students in, and we've turned some of those students away. So there is that kind of gray area for those particular students.
And I have a question here about the schedules for the courses. Typically, when do they come out?
Does anyone want to take that one? I know that a draft is coming out recently for us to review just now, but I think it's a few weeks from now, early December is where we'll see something more public.
Yeah, I think it's a few weeks before the semester starts, before students have actual access. And I know that can be difficult, especially with students that are trying to balance, you know, their work to be able to pay for the program as well as attend the program. But yeah, it's usually just a few weeks in advance, unfortunately.
And can someone just speak a little bit about the hospitality management and if there's a co-op option associated with that?
There is not a co-op. It's a postgrad program, so it's only 8 months, right? An 8-month program, 2 semesters. our diploma program, our 2-year program does have a co-op option. But what we've tried to do in our postgrad program is to really integrate that work, the experiential learning into our courses, such as the simulation, such as the business plan, working with our industry partners, using software that industry is using. So you have that hands-on experience so that you're quote unquote that Monday morning ready to start a job.
So we have another question here. Based off of the schedule right now, the term right now, how much of the classes are online and how much are in person?
So we're looking so far what's planned. Of course, it's COVID, so things can change. But at the moment, we're planning to have 2 hours in class and 1 hour online or asynchronous. Keep in mind that we can't control any government measures, but at the moment, of course, this is what the plan is, and of course, we're looking forward to getting back in class with you.
Great, thank you. Christine, did you want to add something?
Just don't, if it was currently, School of Business has been 100% online, where we've had video synchronous classes and asynchronous, but the plan, as Stephanie mentioned, for the School of Business is to be face-to-face for 2 hours and 1 hour asynchronous for the Human Resource Management program as well.
I have 2 repeat questions. I'm not sure if this would probably be for Hong Kiao and Eric. Seems like an international admissions related question. Someone asked, do I have to show funds for studying human resource management?
Hi, I'm Eric speaking. There's no any need to show the fund, to apply the program. You just need to apply with application fee as $100 Canadian, and they are able to get a letter of acceptance when they meet requirement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have just about 3 minutes left. I think we have time for one question. It's quite long, so it might take up 1 or 2 minutes. But a student is asking, would it be a better pathway option to obtain a diploma degree in a different field of study and then take the HR grad certificate, or complete a Bachelor of Arts in Human Resources? What would be more advantageous? Long question.
Yeah, that's a long question. So that, in my perspective, would be based on your goals and your desire. With a degree, regardless, you qualify with an HR, Human Resource Management graduate certificate program later. Any degree and a grad cert will give you the opportunity to be certified as a certified human resource professional and then a certified human resource leader. If you take only a diploma program in HR, you only can get your designation as a certified human resource professional. So a degree, regardless, is essential to achieve the leader designation from the Human Resource Professional Association. We do have a bridge program that goes from the human resource diploma to the degree. The degree information session is happening at 12:30, though I should mention that. And maybe you might want to come on to hear whether that's more an appropriate path starting out. So I think it's a matter of personal preference. And Kevin, you might be able to give your perspective.
I would say it might depend on what type of industry you want to get into, or what field you want to get into. You could take your, what interests you as your major, and then if you want to get into HR, then you could kind of focus on HR in that industry. That's kind of what I was getting out of that question, but you did hit it right. So there's the CHRP designation, which is the entry level designation, and then there's the CHRL, which you need the degree for. So the CHRL you get with more experience, so about 5 years of experience. So if you want to get the degree and go to the leadership designation, I would suggest that too.
Mm-hmm. We have a number of different disciplines enter the human resource management grad certificate program. So like Kevin said, if your interest is maybe finance to start, or psychology or sociology, and you're taking a degree elsewhere, many students from across various disciplines enter the human resource management grad certificate following a variety of degrees. So
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a
Bye-bye.
great weekend.
All the
Bye-bye.
best.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Take care. Good
Thanks,
luck.
bye.
Hope to see you soon.
Yes, look forward to it.